Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. Um, Getting to review another film that came out in the summer. In general, this one came out in the summer of 1993, and this has also been another favorite film growing up, especially another favorite film me and my brother grew up, watching, and I always enjoy watching it, of course I still do enjoy watching it again. So I'm gonna take a look at another family film. Of course, is Free Willy. Free Willy, a classic from 1993. Came out released in July. In July, Um, and like I said, I always enjoy this film, especially me and my brother. Always watching this film together. Growing up. So this is also another, I would say, another classic family film. Um, and Free Willy, it's a 10th anniversary edition. But has some features. Um, for extras. Of course, contains the music video "Will You Be There" that Michael Jackson sings. Which is also played in the song as well in the film. Wales. Whale ballad montage, a conversation with wildlife cinematographer Bob Talbot, help Free Willy with the escape the nets adventure, and then all three of the three movie trailers to all three of the films. Now Free Willy, it was directed by Simon Wincer. Simon Wincer, he's directed a few films that I'm familiar by. Like he directed after Free Willy, he directed Lightning Jack 1994. Then he directed Operation Dumbo Drop with Danny Glover and Ray Liotta. And then after that, he directed The Phantom with Billy Zane and Tree Williams. And then Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles. Those are the films that I'm familiar with. Like mostly Operation Dumbo Drop, this film, and The Phantom. And of course, there's also Richard Donner, the director of the Lethal Weapon films and the Goonies, is also an executive producer on this film. The film is not that too long of a film. It goes at a good pace at 112 minutes, and for the summer film, they did pretty good at the box office. For coming out in the summer, it on a budget of 20 million made 153 million worldwide. In despite opening up a number 20 opening up a number 5. This film opened up number 5 for the box office, because that's like during that's around the time because Jurassic Park came out. It was being the big summer film of 1993. So Free Willy didn't have a chance of making the number 1 list, so it ended up being number 5. But still, it did really good at the box office, but the film got a mixed reception, sadly, and has a 57% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it has a 5.8 IMDb, which for me, of course, doesn't deserves much more higher ratings. But since the film was successful, it spawned two sequels released in theaters, then a 4th direct-to-DVD film, and a short-lived animated TV series, which I have not seen. I have this. This is part of the box set of the first 3 films. I do not own number 4, Escape from Pirates Cove, because that doesn't look good at all. It's almost like a repeat of this one, except it's with a much more a baby orca whale, But I like the other 2 sequels. Free Willy 2: The Adventure Home, and then Free Willy 3, the Rescue. Free Willy 3, not. The first one's always the best. Free Willy 2, The Adventure Home, I do like. Decent sequel. Number 3, it's slightly down, a little bit more below, but do I like it overall? Yeah, but not Free Willy. Escape from Pirates Cove. It's like almost the same repeat of this film, except with a baby orca this time, And I haven't seen the animated series, so. But the film is also more memorable because it has a song performed by the late great Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, which that song I've always enjoyed. I consider one of his best songs. Will You Be There? That's sung during the end credits of this film, and also during the music video. And that's on the features on this film. Which is won the MTV Movie Award for Best Song of the movie in 1994, and also Michael Jackson, also had another one of his songs also in the sequel, which I don't remember the name. I can't remember the name of the song was, but Michael Jackson had another song in the second film as well. So the film with the cast. So the film, I'll get to that in a second. But get into the story. The film opens up with a pack of orcas, they'll swim in the ocean and things like in the Pacific, or which a pack is also called a pod, a pod of orcas, as it's technically pronounced. Then there's the group of whalers, which they trap one whale in the nets, which is Willy, And then he gets captured. Then at some time, like I don't know how long later, but it's sometime later. Then he introduced into town in Oregon. I forgot what city it is, but it's in Oregon. He introduced to Jesse, which is played by Jason James Richter, which he's in the second film, but I think. Well, he's in all three of them, but I don't think he's done doing too much. I don't think he hasn't. I think he's done the three. I don't know. He's been in other films. He's been in films Cops and Robertsons, and then the Never Ending Story 3, Laserhawk, which I have not seen. And that's pretty much it. He did the three Free Willy films, then Cops and Robertsons, Never Ending Story 3, and Laserhawk, and that's it. Then he's done some guest roles in some TV shows, like Sabrina the Teenage Witch and The Client. That's pretty much it, So he hasn't done much. He hasn't 5 films, and that's. No, 6 films, and that's it, But getting to his character Jesse, he has a small gang of kids, that they cause a lot of trouble, I think they're orphan, I think, because they're just living out on their own. Him and his gang of friends, or they're stealing food, and stuff, to feed themselves. And of course, one of the kids in the gang is for that small time and that time frame. That's Danielle Harris, from Halloween 4 and 5, and the remake and sequel. She has like a small appearance in this as one of the Jesse's little gang there. So they're stealing food, and also because Jesse he's orphan because he's been abandoned by his mother, which for I don't know for how many years, and he's been living on the streets since, and with him and his gang, and they're still stealing stuff, try to feed themselves, and then they're one night, then as they're eating, the cops show up, and the rest of his little gang is scattered, and with him and his friend Perry, they go to a theme park, which you know what it is, but of course you do know what it is. They spray some graffiti, and when Jesse comes close to the glass, then you see Willy in front of his face. He gets scared and he runs away. And gets caught by the cops. He gets caught and gets arrested, and then his social worker, as I'm looking here because I'm looking in here so that way I can what the technical words for the characters are at some points. Dwight, he's like he's willing to not to let the people press charges unless he goes back to the park and cleans up their mess, and he's also makes them live with a couple, who has no children, The guy who plays Dwight, you see him in he's the guy who plays Bubba in Forrest Gump. I forget how his name is pronounced. His first name is like Mykelti. I think his name is Williamson. As Dwight, he plays Bubba in Forrest Gump, and he's been in other films like Con Air and Species 2 and the fourth Final Destination film. But mostly remember from playing Bubba in Forrest Gump. So he tells him to live with this couple, which is played by Madsen and Jayne Atkinson. So they'll be his new foster parents, and he's not when he gets there, he's not taking it all well. He's being rude to them, He just doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to live there, But he has no choice. Otherwise, he'll get put in juvenile hall. I think juvie. So he gets taken there, and he's got to talk to who is it, the caretaker Randolph, who's also been all three of the Free Willy films, played by August Schellenberg, who is for quite a while. He's briefly sometime passed in 2013 he passed away, sadly. And which he's been in other films, especially the Free Willy films. He's been in a small role in 8 Below with Paul Walker, and he was also in Tremors 4: The Legend Begins. So he tells him, to just to help him clean, and as he's cleaning, he sees Free Willy perform some tricks. He's like really wowed about it. But then as the amusement park owner, played by Michael Ironside, he's I don't know how his scheme was. He's like Willy cost is worth $1 million, and he wants to with the insurance money, but since the whale is not performing, doing poorly, he's losing money, he's trying to do whatever he can to make the park more money with this whale, And as an actor, I like Michael Ironside. He's been in a few good films, which I liked him in Total Recall, Starship Troopers,